Hi, this is Brian McHenry at McHenry Software. This is a quick, brief overview of some of the enhancements that we have with the version 2.2 of our medit3D, msmac3D software. What you're watching here is our My First project, which will open when you first open up the program. And we'll walk through some of the menu items and some of the enhancements that are in here over the previous versions. Up in the top here, you see we have a number of new menu items, and I'll just walk through each of them just to give you a really quick overview. Up here, the first item is scenario tweak switch input files. You click on that, and you can go ahead and copy it. You can archive it. You can rename it, add comments, so that as you're iterating to get a better match of the evidence, you can save incremental changes, and then if you go down a wrong path, you can go back to the prior one. For those of you familiar with the grid edit, the second item is the card editor. Without having to return to medit, you can quickly just go in here and make changes and auto run. You notice there's auto run down on the bottom, which could be in either 3D or 2D, depending on what your version that you're running. This is where you can change your graphics models or vehicle models. That has also been enhanced by now when you actually click on the vehicle. You'll see over here now, we have the menu comes up for each vehicle that you click on. And the menu allows you over here to the right, allows you to change the dimension specs or change the positions, which now actually, if you see on this, we have, let's go ahead and go above it. We have the drag and drop ability where you just grab this and you can move the vehicle around. You can spin the vehicle around, etc. And if we go back to the menu, we also have, so you can change the model to different models that you want. So you can basically, this is a way to reuse projects. If you have a project that's similar or impact configuration, you just clone that project. We'll get back to that in another part. You also then can also change the colors and change the scale. If the model scale is a little different than what you want, you can change the scaling of the actual graphics model. We also have the ability to have structural nodes that you have either it automatically creates them or we can just automatically create them based on the model or based on the type of vehicle. And you notice you can show the nodes. Let's see, we'll zoom in. This is really for when a vehicle rolls over. You turn them off when you have just collisions because it does take up more time. You can just show the nodes or you can show the deformed nodes. We also have tire tracks where the ability to change the color of the tire tracks. First you can have dashed or double color, or then also you can have, let's go out of here and just watch. You see how there's different colors here, and also whether or not it shows as it passes, or you can have it on always down here. So it's just you see the car going over them that they already exist. Well, that's vehicle 1. We would then go to vehicle 2 and change that to always also. And you see now it's on all the time. The next two items are either emulated vehicle or add other model. The add other model is your traditional positioning of a vehicle where it doesn't see the terrain and you have to tell it where to put it on it. The emulated is where it actually sees the terrain, but you tell it where to move. Also for the add other model, that's where we have, you notice we have a house here, trees, things like that. You can bring those in and there's different formats. You bring them in as DXF and then can save them as M3D type format. And that allows you. And so we just had these two cars running. Let's just say they were witness cars as they drive by, and you could have had it brake if you want. You just click on it, and there's an ability. You see this only had 2 positions, and we could add in positions to make it slow down, speed up, change direction. Same for if it was emulated, except for the emulated actually sees the terrain. Next item is our polygon friction zones. When you add one, you see it adds a rectangle that you can move around then. You click on it. Well, the first thing is you do is you move it to approximately where you think you need it, and then you can grab individual elements and change them. And then you can change the friction factor, which is right here. And you can show or not show that. But let's go ahead and get rid of that. Next item after that is the ability to change terrains. You can add a blank terrain. You can add a terrain from an image. You can add a terrain from a map. You can add a terrain from a DXF file or a terrain from a point cloud. Then we also have the tracking camera and emulation. See, in this one we actually had set it up so that it kind of follows the path of the vehicles. This one's following the path of vehicle 2. That's also explained in other videos. The next, these are a couple of new ones. We have charts, the ability to display the forces, normal forces, roll, pitch, yaw angle, and you can actually, by selecting chart, you can add a new one, you give a name for it, and then you can go and you pick what variable you want to plot and what color and width, etc. There's 3 actual output files. There's the main file, which is the msmac file. Then you have the v1 and v2 files, which have a little more detail on forces, etc. And then you can actually save as image, you can show partially, etc. Most of you are probably familiar with our software, know that we also have the tools option in the main medit grid format that has many of these, but this is an enhancement and will ultimately replace it. You can then, of course, choose the 3 different files. We also have the ability to quickly look at output files. And as you see, here's all the output files. So for example, if you wanted to see what was the delta V or what was the rest position and how you correlate with the actual evidence. Then there's just save current image frame to a file or save to print it. Next item is the help, which has the either movie clips or documents, getting started, msmac manual, or the various movies which we will be adding to, like this one will be added to it soon, shortly. Next item is settings. You see you set your sky colors, plane colors, ground. You can actually increase the size of the ground image if you need that. We have items for various like sun for brightness, location, etc. And whether or not to show one other item here is to show on as a wireframe down here in the first item. And then last tells you about, will give you the version. If ever there's a question of what version are you running, that's a quick way to find out what version you're running. This, of course, is our pan, zoom, etc. and where you can keep track of different views. You save them. Once you find a view you like, you hit the little arrow to the right. That gives you the view. Or you can just go, this is a basic where it's top, left side, right side, etc. There's all sorts of angled ones if you want those. And there's the wide angle or zoom. This is an enhancement that's been added. Down on the bottom, of course, obviously runs 3D, 2D. Set initial positions and rest positions if you're going to use the automatic iteration. That is in another video we have, and we'll be enhancing that too. Then go to first frame, last frame, or step through them. And of course, play to stop, loop on and off, and then how fast the playback, you can vary this. And then another quick item we have is the ability to create a video. You can create the whole clip or parts of the clip. You can delete or add on, and then you just write. You see it actually plays it, and right now it's saving those videos. And then then the next step would be to click Write Movie from Bitmap file. And we're going to save it into our bitmap, and we'll just call this My First. And there it creates it. And if we go out to our menu, you see that out in MSoft Movies, My First. And there it is. That concludes this brief introduction to the msmac medit3D update 2.20. We also have many abilities, like the ability to add multiple grounds, to have grounds turn on and off at certain times, to prioritize grounds, so that you can have things like we did for the stunt that we recently did for the Jaguar E-Pace rollout. And we will be doing videos of these in the upcoming week or so. So please stay tuned. Thank you for your interest in McHenry Software.